Here we go. Here we go again, guys. On the grind. It's a Thursday here, so Wednesday evening in most places that are playing poker, most countries where people are playing poker around the world. It's closing in on mid-December, so I think definitely going to be a lot more fish in circulation, and we're going to look to capitalize on that. I'll just bring in, let me just clean up these tables. 100 rebuy here, always juicy. Getting pretty deep in that top middle, 33 turbo, I believe. Sorry guys, just got a decision here. I think just because this guy's crazy VPIP, even though we haven't played... Well, it's a pretty tough spot. Wow, it's like probably the worst card. I wonder if we can ever be good still here. I think I was going to call river if he jammed on any brick. It's hard to say if this card... yeah, I mean, if he had a bet river, it would have been pretty hard. Surprised he didn't pull a trigger. It looked like he had that sort of hand. He just had ace-8. He did bet pretty big on the turn, though, so definitely had to stop and think. But you can see that he called pre, calls flop. 17 for 21. So he raised small flop. It just seemed like he was getting ready to bluff it all off. I mean, obviously it's a good flop for us once we flop top pair. Sorry guys, just a lot of tables, so you're gonna have to just bear with me. I think I will 3-bet small here. The order of a day is aggression. Been running pretty bad, so we want to try and make our own luck around here by owning people's souls. But more than that, just getting ourselves in a position to get some chips. That's really what we want to be doing. Any there that can. And so in this instance, we're risking 900 to win his 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't have to work a whole lot. King 10, a little bit weak to flat with. He's opening 48%. He's folding to 3 bets, a decent percentage. It forces him to kind of get, leverage his whole stack. And so I went for it, but he slapped us with the old 4-bet right in the face, right in the kisser. So we had to fold it. What are we going to bring in here? Let's bring in... Let's go with this. Let's see here, we've got the kings against the 10s, but he's got the 10 in that $5 2 rebuy one add-on. That's the thing about this game, is that I've been running pretty bad the last, well, really since we had the good score. We ran pretty good and had a good score. And then since then, sort of this month, been running pretty bad. And that's the thing about poker is, it's there's variance, we all know that, and it's important to try and combat that. And I think one way you can do that is by playing a very aggressive game and, winning pots. I'm going to fold the ace-3 bottom left. Winning pots without necessarily having the best hand. And I'm going to try that here with the ace-3. Yeah. Don't mind it. I mean, this guy's pretty loose that's opened. I'm pretty sure Shippopotamus is going to fold out rather than sort of call out of position. Unless he's got like a solid 7s or 6s or something, then he might go for it. So that's one way, we just had the ace-3 and squeezed, and we picked up 350, including our own blind. We picked up 350 without any resistance. And that's really important, and I think it's the key. It's really the key to winning, to beating tournaments. Someone told me recently that they thought the key to tournaments was playing hands to get max value, and that's certainly important as well. Playing hands, trapping your opponents, or trapping is not necessarily a big part of the game, but certainly extracting value or playing your hands in a deceptive way in order to get max value in general is of course good. But the key is really finding opportunities that others are missing. And so in that hand there with the ace X, some would have folded it, some would have called with it, and some would have squeezed with it. Now obviously the squeeze isn't going to work every time, but in that particular instance, it worked, and I believe it was a good play based on the player's tendencies. And anyone that isn't going to make that squeeze there is missing out on that juicy dead money that's out there that had our name on it. And that's really the essence of this game, I believe, is looking for those opportunities, because anyone can get aces and kings and ace king and get stacks in and get paid off, and anyone can flop trips and get paid off. That's not hard. Yes, getting max value in instances where you only have, let's say middle pair, and somehow you get a couple of streets of value when someone else wouldn't have. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's important. Getting max value like that's really important. But this is a game that sort of revolves around, online play sort of revolves around stacks going in. It revolves around being all in and winning flips and just holding up and just winning pots. So you can't control that. That's up to the poker gods. So you have to work as hard as you can to control the parts, that we can. And that ace-3 was, the ace-3 off squeeze is a part that we can sort of do more to control. We can dictate that action. We can make the squeeze and pick up those chips. If we get called, we have deep stacks, we have options to barrel, tell a story, and so forth. And that's really what it all comes down to in the long run, I think, if you plan to maintain a win rate, get a good win rate. It's being able to find those opportunities. And all the good players that you see do that. You saw the November 9, you saw that a lot in 2014. You saw those guys, play very, make some really good moves where they made big bluffs or just leveraged their stack in a way where guys had to fold and they couldn't continue. And that's the essence. That's what this crazy 2-card game is all about. So we've hit the king on the river. I think I will value here. He might think we have to bet to win and just go for it. Bottom left I've checked obviously to call. And so that's what I'm going to do. It's a kind of a bad card, I guess. You could have ace-10 or 9-10 or jack-queen some of the time, but he's checked, so it looks like we're good. Do we want to go for value? I think in this instance it's probably a little bit thin. He might have ace-jack or 10-jack and make a light call. He might have queen-10, but there's not really that many. They're probably the only hands worse, with the exception of some crazy hero call. And he could be up to something, he could check raise with a flush like that, and so that's why I think it's probably better just to check there. And I dare say if we bet small river for value, he's probably going to shove, and then we have a real problem, because then he's all of a sudden only repping flushes, and just a matter of if we believe him or not. Obviously getting pretty short up the top middle with the $33 turbo. Top right is the $100 rebuy. Top left is a $55 7.5k guaranteed. The bottom middle is a $33 one rebuy, one add-on, and the one that you just saw then is a big 22. early stage. And the bottom right is a $22 super knockout. We've got a few chips to play with there. Well, actually, not really. We're only M15, I guess, but antes are already in play. 630. Currently on 15 tables, and yeah, I mean, I might slide a few more in, but we're getting kind of maxed out here, so I just want to be a little bit careful we don't overdo it and lose quality on decisions. This top left one is really close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. I think I will fold. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I will fold. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's, just bear with me here, guys. Yeah, a little bit under the pump with the decisions, you can probably tell. So the ace-queen top right here, I think definitely calling is okay. Legend 10 is a little bit on the loosish side. Interesting that he's checked. Snap checked. We could have a hand like ace-king. It looks like he's just got the same sort of hand now, ace-queen. He might be on a lot of tables as well. He could have queens or jacks. I think he may have bet turn with those. It seems like he's actually, well, kind of got the same hand, I guess, but it's weird that he's just snap checking. It's almost like he's lost focus. He's on other tables or something. I can't really imagine him betting here, I don't think. Yeah, same hand. I'm surprised he didn't bet turn, you know. I guess he thinks that he's not really going to fold out anything. You know, if we got a pair, we're probably calling. But he did have the draw as well. I guess he's just trying to sort of induce something. I think I might check raise here. Well, actually, I might call one. And, well, now we are getting very short top middle, aren't we? Let's fight again. It's pretty close. I think I will release it now. Got some action, top left. Well, we have the gut shot as well. Hearts, yeah, actually probably pure one more here. Interesting card, you know, 7 is certainly a card I was thinking maybe we can represent. But I just don't think we can. I think on the turn maybe we could have like bet turn, and then if he's got a hand like jacks he calls, and then bomb river he probably folds with a 1 card straight on the board after we check call flop. But with just 1 card to call, I don't think some random guy is going to fold top pair or better if we just bomb now. Just don't think he can. Just don't think he has it in him. Without us knowing more about the specific tendencies. So we put ourselves in a pretty tough spot, because I don't know on the deuce how often he's going to barrel. But, you know, players like this, recreational players, I'm presuming. I mean, they just kind of have a bet to win. I need to bet to win kind of thing without, we've spoken about this before, without really multi-level thinking, what's he going to put me on? Having said that, I think that we actually probably can just fold now. We did have the Gutser, maybe, probably 6 outs on the end. Maybe we're good if sometimes he checks back and gives up river. Yeah, it's a pretty tough hand. We could check raise and try and rep the straight, but I still just think he has a problem. I mean, folding, top pair or better, unless we absolutely smash it. And he still could have a 7, he's only opened in late position. He's got a pretty wide range. And if he's not folding, an overpair, for example, then we're better off just check calling and just catching his bluffs. Which he could have. He certainly could have just been barreling because we're checking. A lot of these players at this part-timers, they just go, well, he's checking, I'm betting. He looks weak, I'm betting. And that's enough for them. He's got King Jack and he's like, oh, he's checking, I'm just going to bet. I think I can bluff, that sort of thing. We probably don't really need to complicate it too much more than that. Just had one of those moments where all of a sudden, no action on every table, just everything just aligned, and I had a moment's rest. This King 10 suited top right in the rebuy period is certainly a hand that I'm happy to play. Looking to get chips. Looking to get as many chips as we can. This is the sort of hand that can win a big pot. Pick up a nice draw. I will go ahead and c-bet for a couple of reasons. The first one is that we do have backdoor diamonds and the overs, and the other one is that players generally call pretty loose in a rebuy, so he could have a pretty wide range. I think I'm going to fold. Well, actually, this guy's playing a lot of hands. 1, 3, 4. Wow, okay, we're going to fold. It's pretty close, that one, just because of the pot odds. We've got ourselves so short stacked that we're probably getting the right odds to call with King High there. I am going to fold now when he raises flop. I think that he can have a pair a lot of the time and just decide he's going to roll with it, but didn't want to get it in pre against a UTG opener. Could have had 5-6, I guess, suited, something like that. And not impossible to just bluffing, but the HUD indicates that he's got post-flop aggression or his total aggression factor is like 1.45, which is not that high. I will defend with the suited king in the rebuy. Could have 3-bet it, but this guy's not that loose. And I guess we're going to go ahead and c-bet bottom middle. So we've got ourselves the big blind calling. And so I think I will fire again. If it had been the guy behind, I would have been perhaps more inclined to check, but the big blind can probably have a little bit of a wider range. He can probably have hands like 8-9, 8-10, 9-10, 10-jack, jack-9, some worse queens, lots of hands like that we can get value from. Bottom left, I think I'm just going to go ahead and bet here for protection. There's lots of bad turn cards. Any 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, jack, and spade can potentially be bad. He has snap check raised. And not so much necessarily initially bad, but say the turn's like a 4 of spades and he's got like ace, like 5 with the ace of spades. Or king 5 with the king of spades or something. It sort of just allows him to pick up a lot of equity in the pot. We do have backdoor diamonds and overs as well, but we do just normally have the best hand, I think. He could have been bluffing there, but it was pretty close. But I think that it's still pretty early stage. We've got pretty good depth of stack. And if he is a sort of player that's going to check raise on those sort of, you know, fairly static board. Well, static in the sense of what he's representing, you know, is a hand like a big flush draw or, you know, trips or something like that. I guess he could just raise small pairs some of the time, just thinking, hey, I think I have the best hand. There's lots of bad turns, I'm just going to raise. Could be doing something like that as well. But, you know, a lot of players in that sort of instance, it's a sort of a way ahead. What I'm really saying is, it's a way ahead or way behind situation. So, you know, if he's got a hand like pocket threes with the pair on the board, then, you know, check raising is normally only going to get called by better. Except in that rare instance where we have the sort of hand we have and decide to get a bit sticky. You know, which is close. Flop the set top and right. Happy days. Legend Den. He's checked, so, you know, he's got high cards a lot. I'm just going to go ahead and try and bet to get value from those cards. Ace Queen, he's probably got Ace Queen a lot. I think I might check. He might have some hands here that he turns into bluffs, and it's pretty hard to get value from worse. So I'm going to go for a check raise here. If he's got Ace Queen, he might try and bluff it here, and try and fold out a small pair because he might think he can represent the hearts. And he just snap folds, so it's probably what he was doing. Ace Jack or Ace Queen, and he might think we bet turn with just a small pair. And so he might try and fold that hand out. Top left here, we managed to get kings in against the Ace Queen. Meanwhile, top middle, we are in the money now. So it was bubble. And that's something that, you know, I should have had my eye on a bit, you know, been paying a bit more attention to that. And you've heard me talk about that as one of my weak points is not paying enough attention to the bubble, mostly just due to the multi-tabling. It'd be good if Stars had some sort of like system set up. That'd be a really good request, actually. Where when you're like 5 places off the money, somehow you get some sort of warning or something. Party has a system kind of like that, but it's more just to alert you when you get big hands. You can set up the table so that warnings, so that when you get a big hand, it goes psh, and there's a sound when you have like aces or, you know, you set whatever you want. I used to use that actually. I haven't been using it lately. I presume it's still a feature there. But it's quite good because it just ensures that you're never going to miss a big hand. Because, you know, you get excited when you hear that sound. You look over and you say, oh, it's queen suited or something, you know. So it's important to make the most of tools. Bottom middle now, obviously, we just have to call with the mighty 7-3 just because of the pot odds. And look at the shape we're in here. This is good shape to be in. And we managed to hold up. Pass the cash. Easy money with the power there. The might of the mighty 3-7 off. This one's pretty close. We can fold now. I probably would have folded actually if it got around to us. Where you have a freeze. And we're back. A little bit of had a little bit of a freeze there for a minute. 6-2 suited. I think I'm going to fold now. M2.3-ish. We don't have a lot of fold equity. Our hand's obviously pretty bad. If we think they can fold, I don't know why, but the PC is just freezing up a bit. If we think that they can fold, I mean, certainly we don't mind getting it in. We're so short. The blinds and antes add such a significant amount to our stack. If we can just pick them up. Yeah, we'll just call with the eights. It's pretty. You could go either way here. Or for a little steal down there, easy jam there. A little steal bottom right. The eights on this board are pretty close. I would have contemplated a check raise, I think, on that board, but check calling's okay. Problem is that looks like he might have had himself a little pair there, like an ace 3 or the 6, or probably would have c-bet with the 6. Top left, we don't have any info on the guy. Wow, that's annoying. But I don't think we can fold 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, hijack, it looks like we're stealing